Welcome to the Lucky 13 podcast, where we talk about all things people and profit.
What is that? That was like very white voice. What are you doing?
I don't know.
We have new listeners? Are you
No,
trying
we
to?
don't.
I'm gonna call your wife. You're trying to get.
I'm Mike Lantz. You're Josh Hauser.
Okay, we're ending that subject. That works. All right,
No,
go
that's
ahead.
good. No, I was just the reason I was thinking is I know what we're going to talk about here.
You a little
And
nervous?
you're a math major.
I
aren't you?
am.
Yeah, and I'm horrible at math.
No, you're not.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody's good at math as long as they follow the rules, tools, and disciplines.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I might not know the rules, tools, and disciplines.
So, how do we get rules?
I've been using a calculator for a long time.
Discipline loves success,
Yeah.
right? And repetition's the mother of all learning. And so it's just repetition.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to make you do it 7 times a day, but I am going to make you do one
All
problem today. We're going to do it on air. We're going to see how this works.
Okay.
And at home, if you have a pen or a pen, we're going to
Yeah.
follow along. And then we're going to take some math quiz, and then we'll see what that answers when we're all said and done.
Yeah, you got me nervous about that.
All right. You ready?
But that's okay. So, Mike Lantz, Josh Hauser, we're the Lucky 13 podcast. And so, Joshua, believe it or not, Joshua Sheffy Hauser, believe it or not,
There it
was a
is,
math.
Sheffy.
He was a math major.
Yeah, taught
and
math.
so, if you've met
Number of
Josh, I
years.
think that surprises a lot of people.
Huh.
But,
I don't know how to take that.
did you ever have an abacus? Or
You watch your dirty mouth. I don't think you're allowed to say that. We're going to have to upgrade our thing because you just used that word.
Yeah. So, fill us in a little bit about what we're going to do today.
Okay. So here's let me go to the philosophical approach to why I do this. Here's what happens. Let's just use EOS as an example because I teach EOS. You can use True You, anything you teach in a leadership class. We get these ideas and we buy in, and then we go to roll them out to the team.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we roll them out, we do it exactly how it's written. The problem is that we haven't set the groundwork for the rules, tools, and disciplines to listen to it. And so for today, here's what I'm going to have you do. And if you're at home, you can try to write this down. And I know you're not going to get this right the first time, so try to keep up, Lefty. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here's EOS in mathematical terms. Okay. 7 plus 8 minus 3 to the third divided by the quantity, 1 plus 2 to the third, close the quantity, minus 2 times 6. Now, there is not a word I just said that you don't understand, but you probably didn't keep up with me because I went pretty fast the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So that as leaders, we get that. And so what we'll do is say, let me slow down and read it again. Okay. 7 plus 8
Mm-hmm.
minus 3 to the third power
Mm-hmm.
divided by the quantity, 1 plus 2 to the third power, close the quantity, minus 2 times 6. Now, in the leadership world, what happens is we say these kind of things. It could be process A, B, Z, build widget over here, make sales process. And once we say it, we think they got it. Now, as I'm looking at your handwriting, what you have written down there right now, I'm a little bit scared. I think you're close. No, we're not, but that's all right. We got a good start. Here's the problem, is that I leave, I expect you to solve it, and when you don't get the right answer, what the hell? I told you what the problem was.
Because I don't even have the problem right.
Correct. So let's get the problem right, okay? So then what we do then is we send a memo. We'll send an email. We'll put it in a document.
Yeah.
We'll do what we teach, which is let's build a one-page process. So write with me, 7 plus 8 minus 3 to the third power. Now, that's the little number that goes up that sometimes, okay, just make you're an IU guy. Divided by the quantity, 1 plus 2 to the third power, close the quantity, minus 2 times 6. Now, you and I, because I took the time, have it written the same way. Okay, so let's just recap.
I was pretty close,
You were.
though.
That's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I give you.
But it took me the third time.
I give you a little. I give you some credit for it. Okay.
All right.
So, mine disappeared. There it is. All right. So, what happened? Let's just go back. So we told them they weren't getting it. So I slowed down and told them, even with a little sarcasm in there. That's what happens as leaders. And then the third time, okay, let me show you once, and I write it.
Yeah.
Now, can we both agree? This is basic math. There's nothing in here that would be out of control, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just did this with a group of about 80 people. I got 23 different answers. Okay. To one math problem. And can we all agree math is the only universal language?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we all speak it, we all solve it. And every single one of them did the math right. They just didn't follow the order of operations to get it right.
Right.
What we mean by order of operations is when we give somebody a task, when we give them a project, we have to take the time to make sure they understand the order of operations to get that project done. Especially as you're expanding your business and we start this delegate and elevate, oftentimes we delegate too fast. And so we delegate thinking that you and I are connected, and I haven't taken the time to give you the rules, tools, and disciplines, in this case, the order of operations to follow.
Yeah.
So for this case, if you have kids at home, anybody between 4th grade and 7th grade, you're going to remember this. It's called, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It's called PEMDAS. Have you heard of PEMDAS before?
No.
Okay. This is a tool, a rule with a tool. The rule says we always do parentheses first. Anything in parentheses is the first thing that gets solved. Think about in your company. This is just prioritization of doing the work.
Yep.
So if I read that problem to somebody, be it rolling out EOS, and I didn't tell them the priorities are the parentheses first, they're going to do the 7 plus 8 first.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
That's right.
So we're just going to go backwards and say, let's get the parentheses first. After parentheses are done, you do exponents second. Okay? So there's an order. I got to prioritize. First, when I'm doing this problem, first when I'm rolling out, I do this, then I do this. Then after that, multiplication and division can happen. And once that's solved, addition and subtraction follows up. Okay. So now we have the framework. We have the problem. 7 plus 8 minus 3 to the third divided by the quantity 1 plus 2 to the third minus 2 times 6.
Yep.
And I can say it that fast because you can read it with me now.
Yep.
See how I can say it fast now? Because you can read along with me. And so the first thing it says, do parentheses. So we're going to teach you the math problem. So what's inside the parentheses?
1 plus 2 to the third.
Okay. Can I add the 1 and the 2 yet?
No.
No. What do I have to do first?
2 to the third.
2 to the third. So what is 2 to the third? Oh, gosh. That's 8.
Yep, it is.
All right. So, all right. Here's what happens. We solve the first thing, and we think we're all the way done. Everything else in the problem. So if you're at home, everything that was written above that, you start bringing down. Every single symbol, everything has to come back down because now your problem is 7 plus 8 minus 3 to the third divided by the quantity 1 plus 8. See how it's now I've fixed one of the problems in the parentheses, but the parentheses aren't done yet.
Yep.
Okay. So now I can finish the parentheses, and 1 plus 8 is
9.
9. And what happens to every other thing and what I ask you to do?
Bring it down.
Got to bring it down exactly how it's written. Does that make sense to you so far? Okay. So now I've got 7 plus 8 minus 3 to the third divided by 9 minus 2 times 6. Parentheses are all done.
Yep.
That part of the prioritization's over. Now I'm going to exponents.
Yep.
So what's the exponent I got to deal with?
3 to the third.
What is 3 to the third?
9. No, 12.
Say it again. Oh, keep going. 3 times 3 times 3.
Oh,
27. I love IU. All right, so I take off my shoes and socks and help too. All right, so we got 27. Now, everything else in the problem comes with. So I got 7 plus 8 minus 27 divided by 9 minus 2 times 6. So this is what happens when we roll it out is that just skipping one little step, all of a sudden you're SOL.
Yeah.
And it's most people will get all the math right. They just won't do it in the order. So now underline the 27 divided by 9, underline the 2 times 6 because I can do multiplication and division at the same time. 27 divided by 9 is?
3.
3. 2 times 6 is?
12.
Okay. And everything else comes down. 7 plus 8 minus 3 minus 12. See what I'm left with? Now I just add and subtract. So what's 7 plus 8?
15.
What's 15 minus 3?
12.
And what's 12 minus 12?
0.
When you follow the rules, tools, and disciplines, you end up getting 0 issues, which means I'm obsessed about clarity and I'm obsessed about alignment. As a leader, oftentimes, especially when you're growing fast, we don't take this time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, makes total.
And really just say, okay, what are my quote-unquote PEMDAS rules, orders of operations that this seat needs to have, and have I given them all the tools to get there? So that's the shorthand format of PEMDAS.
Yeah.
So what's that, when you're going through that, what's going through your head?
What's going through my head is how do I, in a bit, like I get the order of operations, right? Yeah. We all learned that a long time ago.
Correct.
In our, so how do I think about the order of operations inside my business?
Yeah. So let's talk about even what's the name of our podcast. So you think about all things people and profit. So what is the order of your operations? What if you had a hierarchy, the most important things in your organization, what are they? So obviously EOS, we put a VTO together and try to get that together. I always shorthand the P's, and it's usually 3 or 4 P's: people, profit, process, and sometimes there's that 4th P, which is product. Yeah. Okay, if those are our prioritized, which one do we have to take care of first? What's the one that's going to give us the biggest lift and the most important? And it can vary, but from a rules, tools, and disciplines, we have to make that decision. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we take that down to the seat level. What does every seat, what are the 5 most important order of operations? And I don't worry about putting them in order at that point.
Yeah.
But what are the 5 most important that they have to do?
Yeah.
And how do they do it? So it's one thing to say what they do. What we just worked on with PEMDAS is how do we do it?
Yeah, interesting. So I brought up several times this idea of the success profile, right?
Oh,
what are the 5 to 7 things I need you to do?
Yep.
how to do it.
Yep.
And how am I going to measure your outcome?
Correct.
Same kind of idea.
And then while you're doing that, ask them, do you know the rules of the game? Do you have all the tools you need to do that? Because at the end of the day, we talked about this in a prior podcast, rules plus tools plus discipline equals standards. My job as a leader is to provide the rules, the order of operations, then give them the tools to be able to solve inside the order of operations. The discipline comes from accountability. Discipline to me is attitude, effort, and focus. Are you approaching it with the right attitude? Do you understand why and you're excited about getting it done? You're going to give the effort, the will set, and then are you going to be focused, the skill set on what you got to get done? One of those lack, discipline falls apart. Any one of those three that are missing, you no longer have standards.
Yeah.
And this, what math has taught us, what PEMDAS has taught us, what geometric proofs have taught us is take the information, there's an order to solve it, and if you solve it in the right order, you all get the same answer, which means you can obsess over clarity and obsess over alignment.
Yeah. You know what I think is so important, like we all learned PEMDAS, right?
Yeah.
Whether you called it that, you called it rules of operation,
Yep.
right? So you put a great acronym to it. And so that is for every person in the world.
Correct.
Right?
Time tested.
But the rules inside of each individual company and the tools and the disciplines are all different.
Correct.
So if I come into a company, let's say I'm a new hire and I'm coming in, and I try to apply the rules, tools, and disciplines of the last company I was at.
100.
There you are with that kid lingo.
Yeah.
But if I try to apply
Kinda
that,
hip.
then I'm potentially going to be swimming in the wrong direction.
So to your point, math is a universal language. Companies don't operate on
They don't have
universal
that.
language.
Yeah.
So you got to understand that the Rosetta Stone of what your universal language is inside your organization could be different than the prior organization they had. And if we don't take the time to clarify, this is how our order of operations work.
Yeah.
This is how we solve problems. This is what the rules are that we use, i.e., your focus points and what your Eisenhower matrix decision tree looks like. These are the tools that we provide. And if we're missing a tool, please let me know. And this is the discipline that you and I are going to make an agreement on. And that allows me to have now standards.
Yeah.
And that's why we grade math, because math has a standard. There's an answer at the end. And what do we do in math? We tell everybody, show their work. Everybody used to get mad. Why do you want me to show my work? Because I want to make sure that you're seeing every step along the way until that has become part of your subconscious. Then you don't have to show your work anymore. Does that resonate to you?
Yeah, that makes total sense. And EOS, here are your core values and all that. But I think it's a step further, right? It's
Take me.
like, and I've run into some really good business people that do this. It's like, what are all the principles inside of our organization? Like, what do we believe in, and what do we not believe in?
I love it. What do we stand for? What we stand against?
Yeah, look, I remember going. I know I've referenced Defenders a couple of times in the last couple of episodes, but I remember that when I first got there, we would have these quarterly leadership meetings where director level and above were all there, and they would pass out at the beginning of the meeting this document. It was like 75 items on it. And it was basically what they believed in and how they ran the operation. And we would go around the room and everybody would read one and there was a definition. Like one of them was, we will trade rate for term. And this had to do with offices because they were growing really fast and they were willing to pay more in rent as long as they could
Get better terms.
get better terms, meaning a shorter term, because they don't know whether they were going to need 10 people in that office a year from now or 30 people.
And if they need,
and if they were stuck inside of a lease, right?
Correct.
And so that was just a guiding principle.
Easy.
And I
That
don't
was a PEMDAS rule.
Yeah, I don't hear enough about business owners sitting down and codifying what are our rules that we compete with.
Correct. Yeah, and so what happens is we make them up case by case, and when you're making them up case by case, you don't have rules. You have instant decisions. I call them instant noodles. And they're not really homemade noodles that you ground and you put together. And this is the recipe and how we make noodles. Yeah. I just make instant noodles. And
there was a time back. Our office was in the President, and for years, and we were there, and we were getting pitched a lot to go buy a building, and it happened to be a building that was up here in Fishers, and we were really interested in going and doing it. And I remember Dave coming back. He had been out of the business, the day-to-day of the business a while, and he came back and he referenced that we trade rate for term, meaning like, why would we go and buy a freaking building? Like, we don't know whether we're going to have half the number of people next year or we're going to have triple the number of people. Why would we get so locked in that way? And we're not a real estate company. We're a residential security company. We're a culture company. We're a leadership company. Why would we go do that? And but we wasted a lot of time and effort thinking about going and doing this, if we just pulled that thing out in the first place,
Think about how much faster your no would have been.
Oh my gosh.
And then how much time would you have got back because you already had your principles written. You already had your PEMDAS, your order of operations in place.
Yeah.
That's the rule. That says no. Okay, move on.
What's a PEMDAS? What's a rule that you have in your life, personal or professional, that you're just like, whenever this comes up, it's a hard no or a hard yes?
Hard no. Vegetables. That sounds terrible. No, let's think about. I do a fit, especially with EOS.
Yeah.
A hard no is if two things I listen for. I know there's a lot of things, but there's the two stand out. Number one is, do they laugh? And number two is, can they keep up with my speed? Because if I have to change my delivery to fit somebody, that's not good for them and that's not good for me.
Yeah.
So I don't go into an EOS presentation saying, let me speak the speed they need to hear. I go and say, this is how I go.
Yeah.
And then I drop humor points in there. And if I don't get laughs, I'm not going to have fun doing it, and they're not going to have fun doing it. And so I'm just using that as an example. So I listen. Did they laugh, and can they appreciate the speed?
Yeah, that's really good.
Because there's other people who need it to be really methodical, and delivery to be very, staccato, and I appreciate that. And
that's when I go.
There's no time. There's no time to laugh because this is serious work, and I 100% appreciate that. That's just not me.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm the bad fit.
Yeah. The one that I had a while back is, and I've developed it over time, is the airport 24-hour rule.
Okay, talk to me.
Heard of that? Can I? And this is about hiring employees, okay, or team members.
Okay.
Could I be stuck in an airport for 24 hours with this person?
Oh wow, that's a great answer. I'm stealing that.
And if the answer is heck no, then I just they may be a really great person.
I ever got hired if somebody would have used that.
Yeah. So I learned this from somebody, and I tried it out in an interview process. So I was supposed to have an interview with a guy. This is back in my first company. And shout out to Jack Kleemeyer if he ever listens to this. So I had an interview with Jack to hire him, and I had something come up at a client of mine that I had to travel. And so I called him up, and I'm like, I can't really do the interview. And then I stopped, and I go, what are you doing in the next 24 or 48 hours? He's like, nothing. I go, pack a bag. We're going. And it was a flight and the whole thing. We got to spend like 48 hours.
And it worked.
Had a great time with him. And it wasn't all about a great time.
Yeah,
we just connected.
Yeah.
I got to know him at a deeper level. I could hang out with him for that period of time. And he brought value in that period of time.
Think about that. Change your interview status, just idea, and say final interview has to be in some sort of windshield time or car time where you're stuck in one place together, and you got to create conversation on the way there and way back.
Yeah. Or you got to learn from each other. Or Marsha Barnes, Valve and Beater, shout out to her. One of the things she always used to teach me is, if you have an interview with somebody, you don't learn anything, they're a hard no.
Oh my gosh!
You got to, in an interview, you should learn something from that candidate.
Absolutely, that's a great.
So that was another one. If she
Please,
didn't learn
if you're
anything,
at home, write that down.
Yeah,
write down. There should be on your interview list. What did I learn? And if that says nothing, you should be asking yourself. There's another. Can I give you one more that I have?
And real quick, it's not just what did I learn about them.
No,
it's not like I learned they like the Yankees.
Applicable learning.
It is like what value are they bringing to me in that moment, in that interview, that whether I hire them or not, I can utilize to me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Here's a weird one. I grew up small town Indiana, Monticello. The guy who I did my first entrepreneur partnership with, respect the bejeebies out of him, he would drive and look at your yard before he hired you. Yeah, and his answer was, how you treat your yard is how you do everything.
Yeah.
So he would go to your house, and if you went to your house and it was not kept or there's crap laying all over, that's how you live. I don't want you in my organization or not.
Yeah.
And nobody knew that. He told me that well after I got hired.
Yeah.
And that was a secret we were never supposed to share. And it's ironic because the cup I carry says weeds in your yard like weeds in your life.
Yeah.
That all stems from that guy telling me, when I went to hire you, you don't know this, the first thing I did is I looked at how your yard looked.
Yeah.
Because how you keep your yard, how you present yourself to the public, what people see when they don't see you, I want to know what that looks like.
Yeah. So along those same lines, the great Tony Robbins, like I love that guy, right? I've been to all his conferences.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All that. Oh man, he's just so awesome. And he used to say, I don't know if he probably still doesn't do it because he probably doesn't hire anybody like his team does. But when he was hiring people, he would say, Josh, I think this is going to really work. There's just one step we got to get over. I need to see your car.
Oh, yeah.
The inside of it.
Absolutely. That tells you a ton.
And he used to say that like 50% of the people he would say after looking at the car, this isn't moving forward. Because if you're going to have your McDonald's wrappers all over the car and your cigarette butts and all that.
You can't pick that up when you get out of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a kid rule I have, sidebar. Yeah. I tell the kid, that's not your car.
Yeah.
That's my car.
Yeah.
And when I get in that car, if it doesn't look like how it looks when I'm driving it, then you don't have that car anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think this has been a really great episode. It's brought some real great value. It revealed the fact that I can't do math very well, and but that's okay.
You got ChatGPT. We got it.
I got calculator. I got all.
But that's the fun part.
Yeah,
Think
it's
about
the fun
that.
part.
The
Yeah.
calculator has taken over the fact that we're actually learning something that we can apply later.
Yeah.
So keep that in perspective.
Yeah, rules, tools, disciplines.
Equal
Spend some
standards.
time, take a clarity break, ask yourself, what are the 25 things I believe in as a business owner that I need my business to be run by, and then educate your people on it.
And you'll get to know so much faster.
Yeah, awesome.
Appreciate you.